Hey guys, I'm here with Sergeant Mandibles. He's been making Halo videos also. He commented on one of my videos about a month ago and wanted to discuss the show when it finished. So, yeah, we're just gonna talk about the show and whatever else. It's a weird thing where it seems like the ratings are actually decent, but no one talks about it except for like the Halo channels that already exist. Like the regular media people, I never hear talk about it.
I know, like, a lot of people I saw it in comment sections and stuff like that, like, people didn't even know that the show was happening, which is really strange for something, like, that cost so much, and it was, like, marketed to hell and back. I saw it on, like, football, commercials and stuff like that, but nobody was talking about it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw or not, the latest stuff is that Sony and Apollo put like a $26 billion cash bid down for Paramount. So if that goes through, which I'm not sure how that works with all the legal stuff, like if Paramount could say no or whatever, then Sony will have the rights to Halo. At least
Holy
the, at least the
sh
show. I
oh,
mean,
dude, that's messy, though. Sony gets, Microsoft's old cash cow from, like, a couple decades ago.
yeah, I guess just for the show, but I don't know how that would work. I really can't imagine that whoever picks it up is going to continue it. I mean, at this point, if the deal goes through and assuming it takes a couple months and whatever, you'd be looking at another at least 2 years between seasons two and three.
Right. And for something that's so lackluster, like, I'm willing to wait that long for something like Arcane, and I'm willing to bet a lot of people are because the quality's there, but, when it comes to something like Halo, I don't really feel like the people that like it have, like, really long attention spans anyways. Like, they're probably are gonna move on to something else and forget about it.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have that kind of like almost like the Marvel movies over the last couple of years where people were like, "Oh, it's the best Marvel movie yet." And then a month later, no one even remembers what happened.
Right. Like, I people who like this show, like, I want them to tell me what happened in episode 4 because that was, like everybody was talking about how it was the best episode. I would love for them to, like, recap it to me. Like, just tell me what happened from beginning to end, because I remember. I wanna hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, and the thing that I think frustrates me the most, and it's probably bots or people paid by Paramount, is if you go to like Reddit or even like some people's YouTube comments, they'll defend this show and be like, "Oh, what did you want? Just a one-to-one adaptation of Combat Evolved? That would be boring." And really, no one wanted that. People wanted just a good show. But also, they're the same people that if they did a one-to-one adaptation like that, they would be calling it great. Like, they would. Because they want to like it because it's called Halo, even if it sucks balls.
Well, that's the thing that's driving me crazy is the people who like it yeah, the people who like this show, you could literally give them anything and they would like it. If you gave them a one-to-one, they wouldn't be complaining about it, for
No, of course
starters,
not.
especially I I don't really get the logic there. Like, I remember you saying this in your, video you put up, yesterday, the 2-hour one,
Yeah.
um, that, like, gaming, it's as an art form, is pretty disrespected, like, by and large, by a lot of people, like, as opposed to TV shows, books, and movies, and it's kinda mind-blowing because if you have, like, a good story in a game and you just adapt it faithfully to a TV show or preferably a movie in Halo's case, you're gonna get butts in seats, you're gonna get people watching it because it had mass appeal in a video game standpoint, and then all of those gamers are gonna be pulling in all their family members and friends to go check out this show for starters, not to mention just marketing in general. I just don't see a world where you faithfully adapt Halo and it fails.
Yeah.
It it it's
I mean, I think even like if you're just a general sci-fi fan, even if you water down the sci-fi elements of Halo a little bit to make it more like digestible, which they're not that deep to begin with for the most part, except for maybe the Forerunner stuff.
yeah,
Like, I think anybody who's into sci-fi would be really into it. Like, I started
right.
re-listening to the Fall of Reach book a couple weeks ago, like the audio book, and there's so much detail in it, and there's so much character stuff, and all of that is just gone from the show.
That's really funny that you say that because I actually just finished, audiobooking that one and, Contact Harvest I read before it or listened to before it. Um So we were listening to it about the same time actually. But yeah, they even go as far as to, like, talking about, like, cryo sleep in detail and,
Yeah.
like, how they travel from system to system and, like, how the actual, like, engine for slip space works, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Really,
well, even
really
in the book, the
interesting.
explanation they give is very simple, where Halsey explains it's kind of like a ball of yarn or whatever. That might be in First Strike, actually. But she talks about how essentially the way that they explain it is in regular space, you're traveling like across a piece of paper, and then slip space is like you fold the paper in half and punch through it. So you're like compressing space essentially to get big distances faster. And it's
I
all
feel
very
like I'm
straightforward, like a very straightforward, easy way to understand. I mean, the target audience is what, teenage boys?
right, and it's yeah, like, games, books, however you look at it, when you, like, consume Halo, it's not super complicated. There's a couple good twists and stuff like that, and there are some, like, deeper themes and stuff like that you can get from it, but, like, the idea that it's a hard concept to grasp or it's gonna be too, what's the word I'm looking for? Unappealing to, like, mass audiences just absolutely blows my mind. I'm like,
Like
I was
niche.
playing this as a seven-year-old, I think. I don't remember exactly how old I think I was 7 or 8 was when I first played Combat Evolved, and, like, I mean, I understood enough what was going on. Obviously, I picked up more when I was, like, 15 playing it again, but as a 8-year-old, I pretty much got it. And these writers don't seem to get it at all. They can't even, like, make a scene make sense.
It's crazy too when you consider that they did the flood reveal already, and that was a massive point in
Oh,
the first
man.
game.
It was so disappointing the way they did it. It really did feel like, "Please give us another season, we have stuff going on."
Yeah, it definitely
Like,
did.
I was getting those vibes, like, hardcore.
Yeah, those last couple episodes especially felt that way to me, where it's like, oh, we just jammed in like random plot points from five different books in a game, and hopefully it seems like there's a lot going on, even though there's not really.
Right. It's well, and I know you said this in one of your videos, and I definitely said it, but, like, they cut the videos or the, episodes in such random spaces, and I believe that I think now that they did that was literally just to make people forget how long time had gone by before like, in between scenes, because, the scene where Kai beats the shit out of John, I'm pretty sure was, like, 20 minutes before she was completely out of her armor walking around. I don't want to, but I'd have to go look to be sure, but it felt like almost no time, and she's just out of her armor, and I'm like, "Did she take it off herself like a pair of pajamas or something?
Yeah,
What's
that's definitely
going
something
on?"
they did this season, where they can just pop it on and off.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure John put it on himself after staring at it for, like, 10 minutes,
Yeah,
uh,
after
while people
Kiki
were out there dying.
Wolfkill wanted him to be fucking retard Batman. I
Yeah,
mean, it
it
really
really
felt like she
oh,
watched
dude,
Dark
that was
Knight.
totally Batman Begins.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dark Knight. Like it felt like she was gonna watch, like she watched Dark Knight and was like, oh, we need to have the Master Chief be a superhero.
That's so dumb. He was always just, like, kind of a part of the bigger cog, like, he doesn't succeed without the team, and the team doesn't succeed without him. Like, they complement each other, and that's one thing a lot of people liked about the Halo universe was how it all kinda tied together. Like, the Marines would be doing their thing, and then they would feel, like, inspired and like they actually had a chance when John showed up. And then if you're playing the game on, like, Legendary and you have, like, a group of Marines show up, you're like, "Okay, I'm not alone, so that's cool." It's like they
Yeah, well,
help each other, you know?
that's one of those things that I think they didn't realize how big of a ripple effect that would have, where by making him be kind of this lone wolf rebel superhero type, it completely took away the importance of the bond of the Spartans and like how close they all were to each other.
Oh, right.
And then it also strips away, if you read the books in order, he's left fall of reach, or he's left reach as it's falling, and he thinks that he's the last Spartan
Right.
because James gets uh like deflected off into space. Linda gets stuck in cryo because she's messed up. Halsey, I
Mhm.
think, steals Kelly at that point. Maybe that was First Strike. But either way,
I'm not remembering that part.
yeah, that may be
Yeah.
First Strike. But either way, then the rest of
Okay.
the Spartans are down on Reach, which is getting glassed and overrun. and he's like, I have to go with Cortana and Keys.
Right,
So
right.
like all of that significance is lost because they wanted to make him this lone wolf badass.
Yeah, like, Kai is literally dying on a ship, even though she's a Spartan too, then John shows up and just kills everybody by himself anyways. I'm like, "Well, why couldn't Kai do that?" She should be somewhat capable as much as he is, but every time he goes on screen to fight the elites, excuse me, I feel like he's playing Halo on easy. Like, it goes from being, like, on heroic for, like, the Spartan 3s to easy for John Halo when he flies in. And it really does feel like kind of like an Iron Man deal where he just shows up and kinda, like, fucks people up, like he legit came in with, like, a jetpack or something. It's really odd.
Yeah, that is. If you think about it, this season has Kai done anything? Like the first episode, John fucks off by himself in the fog. Then they train,
Right.
which is like the dumbest training ever.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
they go to their own base, which is empty and has the UNSC waiting for them to arrest them. And then I mean, if you can say trains, she lets the Spartan threes in the simulator, and then says, "Good job, guys," and pats them on the back. And then they
Holy
had this
shit,
one
you're
fight,
right.
and they had this one fight where they board the Covenant ship, kill a handful of elites, and then she tries to kill herself.
She legit shot a carbine a few times and, like, fucked up Master Chief. Like, that was all she did.
Yeah,
Holy cow, I didn't even realize that till just now.
and
Like,
it's crazy
the
because she
her
was actually probably in her armor more than he was. I would say.
Right, right, and being more stoic than he was. Like, she had way better control of her emotions, like, throughout the entire season. Like, she was actually, like, pondering things that people were saying instead of, like, yelling at them for, I don't know, changing the sign on a Cobalt's, active status and just some random intern getting blasted.
Yeah, that's a wild thing they did too with John. Is not only is he like emotionally unstable because he's just fucking yelling at people constantly and going rogue and doing
That's
whatever he
my hero
wants.
right there.
Yeah,
I love it when a guy can't control himself.
yeah. Hashtag not my cheeks. But
Hashtag not my cheese, man.
but he's just all over the place and he's a total dick. Like he's not like it's not one of those things where he's being obsessive and pushing people in like a constructive way but takes it too far. He's just being a fucking asshole. Like Riz is
Right.
hurt and he just yells at her. Like
Right, and, like, ultimately, she should have been grounded, like, long before any of that happened. I I don't understand why she was able to go train if she's that fucked up to that point, and he shouldn't have even been acting like that. He should have just been like, it should have just been one of those moments where she's trying, and she's, like, really pissed at herself because she can't do something, and he says, "Go to medical." And he says it very calmly, but it's also like, "You can't help us right now, like, we can't use you, you can't use us." Like,
yeah,
that should have just been the end of it.
yeah, they definitely should have gone more of like the 300 route with the hunchback, where it's like
Oh, right, yeah, something like
you're just
that.
not fit for duty right now, and she's pissed off.
Yeah.
And there's a million things they could
Yeah,
have done that'd be more
that's
fucking
triggering a
interesting.
memory too. But anyways,
But yeah,
I feel
they
like I've seen something like that in like a military movie, but it's not ringing a bell right now.
well, I'm sure it's been done a bunch where you
Yeah,
have someone who wants to fight but just can't. I mean,
yeah.
you could even say it's
Oh
kind of
wait,
like Captain
Pacific
America's
Rim. It was
origin.
the dad.
It was what?
The in Pacific Rim, the dad like broke his arm. No, no, no.
Oh,
S- And so his son had to go. Uh, but like he knew he was gonna go die. I don't know if you've seen that movie. I'm spoiling a bunch right now. That
uh,
was one that came to mind right there.
yeah, I actually watched Pacific Rim recently one night. I put it on when I was in bed. I was only half paying attention, but
Oh,
uh,
yeah, it's just, like, fun, big robot punch big monster thing. Yeah, I love that movie for that reason.
yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of things that they could have done in this show, and they really just they don't really commit to anything.
No, like, I actually and I hadn't thought about this till I listened to your video, but they really do try to just cram so many different plot lines and so many different, like, angles of storytelling into, like, each individual character to the point where nothing happens. It's it's actually kinda mind instead of just trying to pick one thing and do it well, they try to throw, like, 10 things into one person and then just piss like, the execution is just piss for all of them. So then you end up with nothing.
Yeah, I
It's
really
crazy.
wonder. I really wonder if the amount of writers has fucked with all these shows. I don't know if you finished the whole video or not, but I went through all
Oh, yeah, I
the.
watched it all.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
liked the meta bit at the end because I don't keep up with the meta stuff, so whenever you do that, it's always nice to hear about that kinda stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I hate doing it, but it's also like, why does this show have 10 inexperienced writers instead of just being like, hey, like you two or three put the story together. Maybe we'll bring someone else in to like overlook everything or give it a second opinion or whatever.
Right.
Instead of just bringing people in for one random episode. And
I
I'm
don't get
sure
that line of work. It just doesn't make sense to me.
it
I get
doesn't make
using,
sense to
like,
me
different
either.
directors if you're going to a different tone or whatever, like, episode director for this one, I don't know. It seems odd.
I don't understand how these shows operate with all these different writers and these huge staffs. I couldn't imagine being in any writing room where the show has 8 episodes or 10 episodes and they're like, hey, we want you to come write an episode for this other show. And then you can go back to doing whatever you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard Mahler say this, but there really is just a lack of respect for writing. They which is weird whenever you don't have like the budget, like an MCU budget, right? Like the Halo TV show definitely doesn't have a huge CGI budget. So you think that they would want to prioritize the storytelling portion because if you nail that, people can be pretty easygoing on the wonky CGI if the story's really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard about Doctor
um,
Who and the original Star Trek and all that stuff being super cheap, but because the stories are good, people were like, "Oh, it's charming." As opposed to this where you're like, "Oh, the
the
story
idea,
sucks, so
but
it's
like
dog
if
shit."
right, right. This is an idea I've had. I don't. I'm gonna pitch this to you, and I kind of want to hear how you'd react to it because I haven't said it to like pitch it to anybody. But if money is really an issue, um, what I think they should have done was make the first season of this show be mostly a drama about the augmentations of the children, and you're kind of spend the whole season going maybe like split it up into a 3 episode structure where you get like a new kid actor that's like 5 years older than the previous one. Um, and you're going through like that. So that's your A plot is you really dive into Halsey as a character and John and the other Spartans on his team. And then maybe as like a B plot, you throw in a little bit of action scenes here and there where the Marines are struggling to fight a bunch of insurrectionists. And then you just kind of go back and forth between that. And then, the ending could basically be like the way Harvest ended, or just like the Covenant shows up over a planet. And then you only have the Covenant at the very end of the season. But if you have like really, really fleshed out characters and throw Johnson in there for crying out loud, like he could be B plot. Uh, I don't know. I just feel like that would really help you save some money because you don't have to blow it all on um, alien stuff. And then when you get like the good faith from the people, you you launch season 2, you have a much bigger budget, you can kinda go crazy with the alien stuff.
Well, I mean, I know what you're saying, and story-wise, I think maybe if they had had season two's budget for season one, but the problem is for season one's budget, they had $100 million. So
Right. Do you know what the actual budget was for season 2? Because
no,
I keep
but
hearing people say they didn't have a lot of money, but I'm like, they had 90 mil for the first one, like, that's a lot of money.
yeah, but maybe because I think the reception was so bad for season one that they were like, well, we're not gonna throw good money after bad. So
Right.
you guys can make do with what we can afford. Plus, obviously, Paramount's about to be sold off because it was losing billions like
Yeah.
all the rest of these streaming services. My guess,
Right.
and this is just completely me throwing it out there, would be maybe like 50 million, like half. Because
Right.
I mean,
It
they
you
clearly
can't
did
find a
have,
definitive number on it either.
well, yeah, and like clearly they did have enough to do some CG for the elites. They had quite a few sets and locations. I think they flew out to Iceland for some of it, which was, of course, just training. Good use of fucking money there.
Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, it's a pretty big cast. Also, I don't know how much these people are getting paid since they're all TV actors.
I think Garrett Pablo's probably getting a lot. He's been in a couple big movies, which kinda sucks.
Yeah,
I don't
someone
know, they
told me
probably
that
should
that the lady that plays Halsey is also fairly successful, and the guy that plays Keys, he was actually in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So I think he's at least
I
like
haven't
a
watched that yet.
It's okay. It's to me that movie felt very like kind of 90s. Like how
Oh,
I
that's
was talking to
fun.
you before the stream about how the Korean shows feel very 90s to me.
Right.
That movie felt kind of 90s where it was like mindless action, over the top fun, fine to watch once and then forget about it.
Oh man, I'm here for that. No, it's definitely on my list. I just my wife and I don't go to the movies as much, so I try to just watch stuff here just
Yeah.
because babysitters and stuff like that. If we get a babysitter, like we kind of want to go do something that's a little bit more, I don't know, active, I guess.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I
But
mean, depending on what your theater is, I can hear myself echoing by the way now.
oh shoot, that's not good.
I don't know if maybe you could just turn it down slightly and it would stop. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
hearing
Let me
it.
turn
It's
it
not
down some.
constant, just a little bit. But
Go ahead and try again.
yeah, so what I was saying was the movie is I don't blame you for not wanting to spend, 30, 40, $50 to see it. I have a theater right next to me where for some reason it's a Cinemark and the tickets are like $6.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
yeah, so my wife and I can go for, $15 if we want. And it's not a big deal.
Right. No, we that was like our thing before kids was like we constantly went out to dinner and went and saw a movie. Like we watched tons of movies before kids, but it's just kind of like if we do put the time in to get a babysitter, it's kind of like a movie theater is not really like what we want to go do that much. Like we kind of maybe go grab a drink. Well, I don't know. There's like a couple bars with like games and stuff like that. Like go play pool or I don't know that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie
Yeah.
scene is not looking good this year. I don't know how much you've looked at it, but beyond Deadpool 3, which I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Deadpool fan of the first two movies. It's just
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the whole shock humor thing kind of doesn't work for me. And then Ryan Reynolds, I like him more as like a secondary character. Like for me,
Okay, that's fair.
for me when he's the main guy, it's just too much of him. And then he's always just playing himself. So
Right. I don't know. I give him a pass more than I give people like who would I like The Rock. I don't know. I feel like
we're Jeff
he's a little
Goldblum
bit
now.
more yeah, he's a little bit more fun to me. I don't know. I get your perspective completely, but I enjoyed the first two. I like the first one more than the second one. Thought the second one had some wonky decisions, but the scene when they jumped out of the airplane and his whole team died, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Just
that was a funny scene.
dude, I was crying in the theater when I saw that bit. But I'm kinda nervous about the third one just being Disney's thing, but I feel like he's really working to keep their fingers out of it. Uh, I saw he got rid of, Captain Marvel's cameo in it, so that's
Oh
funny.
geez, that's
That
funny.
yeah, I guess they shot one and he's just like, "Nah, Imma delete this." Which I'm like, I didn't know he had that kind of power at Disney, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, most movies fall into the category of like it's fine to watch once. And that I
Yeah.
think that's what Deadpool 3 will probably be for me. I think it's going to be a ton of cameos. There'll be some decent jokes, but overall I think it's just going to be kind of fine.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for this one. Um, I enjoyed the first 2, but like like you said, I feel like pulling Hugh Jackman in there maybe it feels kinda desperate to me, but I could be totally misreading it. Um, did
Yeah,
you like Logan?
I liked it. I've only seen it the one time though. I thought it was good, but I just never went back to it.
Yeah, I liked that send off for him and was kind of hoping not to see him reprise the role, but, if he goes in and they just have a fun time, it'd be good to see them working and see how they bounce off of each other, so, I don't know, I've got mixed feelings about this one.
Yeah, and part of the thing too with that is it's going to be a multiverse thing. And I think
Right.
this is a big issue I think comics have that like manga doesn't is that I mean some manga or anime or whatever do like alternative routes and like kind of a almost like a different version of the story is like a what if type thing. But for comics,
Right.
I think a huge problem that they have as an industry, and this is like way off fucking topic from Haley, but whatever, is
Yeah, it's fine, just let the conversation roll.
is they like as far as comics go, it's really only the superhero stuff. I mean, I know the stuff like Walking Dead took off. You have stuff like Constantine, The Boys. Like there's other shit in there, but not very much. And you don't end up with very much variety. And then within that super specific brand of heroes, it's really only like a dozen that people seem to, really care about. They're like the money makers.
And you're talking about Marvel specifically, right? Or just in
Well, just
general?
Marvel, DC, like just comics in
Right.
like the
Okay.
West versus manga, because
Right.
manga, you know, I don't know how much like, if you're into anime or anything, but like even like a rom-com like Kaguya-sama Love is War is based on a manga. It's a rom-com. Like they like if Japan got rid of all live action media, every genre would still have representation in manga and like light
Oh, I
novels.
like that. That's something that the West needs to do, man, because I want to see, like I wanna see the superhero movie, but, like, in a different genre. Like, I the superhero movie is going to die unless they do this, I feel, but, like, you should have like you said, like, the rom-coms, the, noirs. I mean, you could pretty much do anything. Would you just put super people in the role there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't even think you have to do that. I think it might be too late. Well, for the industry, but they could have just done regular stories in comic book form instead of everything is either books or TV. I mean, I know
Oh, I got you.
like Walking Dead. I think Sin City was more like noir. I think that was a graphic novel also. But like right now for me, I'm reading like Undead Unluck, which is a manga, Kaiju number 8. Those are more like the action, shonen type shit, whatever. But then
Right.
I also do read like the rom-coms or the dramas, and you end up with these stories that are just in a visual medium for people who don't like books. And
Right.
that's a whole different issue. But if people don't like books, but they'll read comics or whatever, there's a huge audience there.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. That's, I haven't really gotten into it though, like, I totally get the appeal.
Of
I haven't
comics or
really, like, thought
manga.
about where to start. Either one, actually. I've dabbled a little bit in anime here and there, like, but I can probably count I'm probably at, like, 6 or 7 now. I'm trying to check out some, um I liked Attack on Titan. I haven't finished it, though. I didn't really like the first half of season 4 that much.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Huh. Oh, because it started off with the other
uh
characters?
Wait, I'm sorry, I might even be saying this wrong. So, like, it's the one where they jump, like, a few years in the future?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's
is
season
that the right
4.
one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There were some bits that I liked, but, I'm hoping I don't wanna be definitive about this and put especially since it's gonna be, like, posted, but I'm hoping that the second half clears up maybe some for me because I haven't read the manga, but the, dynamic between Eren and Mikasa and Armin, like, totally
Oh,
threw a loop.
yeah.
Like, it kinda happened, like, off screen, and I liked their trio thing going on, and that, like I'm hoping that he's just, like, putting a show on, but, like, obviously, I don't know. So I'm hoping the second half of the season recontextualizes some of that for me. Those are my biggest gripes, though, was all character stuff. The action was great. I
Yeah,
just,
I fucking love that show. I think it's probably the best series I've seen, which I know people shit all over the ending. I think well, I don't want to say anything to you till you finished, but
Oh, wait, is the second half out?
the whole thing's done.
Oh, shit, dude, okay, I'm gonna watch it soon then, and then we can talk about that.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I'm
I
excited to finish it. I hope that what I'm thinking happens as far as, like, getting me back into it, but with those people. I like a lot of the plots going on. It was mainly just a character thing that I wasn't feel vibing with.
yeah, a lot of people didn't like that, and I've heard people uh compare Aaron from between season 3 and 4 to what they did to Luke between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. I don't agree with that at
Okay.
all. I'm not going to say anything specific, but my wife and I, after I think it was episode 2, I said, "Do you think the show is going to end this way?" And I was generally right. Obviously, I didn't know all the details because the story is super in depth and crazy, but I was broadly right. And I think that's indicative of how consistent the characters are and their motivations and stuff. But yeah, as far as a
Right.
show, I Hiroyuki Sawano does the music. His music is always awesome.
Oh, dude, that sound I think the soundtrack's what brought like, hooked me in, man. I heard that opener and just, the songs whenever he was fighting, like, oh, what's her nuts? I can't remember her
Oh,
name,
Annie?
Annie in the first
Yeah.
season, dude, I was hooked, bro. I haven't heard music that intense basically since, like, the prequel trilogy.
Yeah. And he
It's
does
just, like,
music like
it
that, like in every show that he's a part of. He does the music for 86. That's a really good show too. And that one
okay.
is I won't say it's hard. Well, it's serious in tone and like it's about racism and like PTSD and child soldiers and stuff. There's a lot going on though. It's one of those things that I wish the Western media would aspire to when they want to do stuff like talk about racism and not just everything is like this cartoonish evil,
Yeah.
it's always the same
There
shit.
is a discussion to be had, and there's, like, a lot of nuance, and you can actually, like, make a like, have a mature conversation, but the way that they do it in the West is just laughable. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, and it adds insult to injury when you know they're just doing it for money too, so it's like, you don't even care about what you're saying, get off my I'm just trying to pay for my groceries.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
agree. It makes it
ridiculous.
worse that it's just so inept. And
Right.
then you know what makes it even I think the part that they should be ashamed of more than any of that is that they won't commit. Like the boys had a fucking literal Nazi who didn't use racial slurs. Like,
Right, I'm like, "She's killing minorities, but she won't say a slur?" What,
yeah,
because you're too worried about how they'll react on Twitter or something?
yeah. Like if
Oh
you're
my
gonna
god.
do it, fucking do it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, like, even these movies, like, they suck, they're hilarious, but, like, even Final Destination 4 did it. They had the one character that is actually in the IMDb named Racist. He actually dropped the hard R on a guy, and then, like, if you haven't seen those movies, you should watch his death. It's one of the funniest things you'll ever see in, like, a scary movie, but,
those movies are
I'm like,
wild.
they yeah, I was like, those movies, and he even committed to using the hard R. I was like, "Yeah, if you're gonna have a racist character, let them actually, like, fulfill that role." Like, Thanos was, I'm not comparing racist to racist here, but he was like a genocidal maniac, and, he did it. So,
Yeah.
it's like, you gotta commit with your villainous people.
Did you watch Shogun? It just finished up.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't had a whole lot of time, and I'm trying to decide, like, what I wanna dive into next.
It'll probably end up being the
I've had
best show this year, I would guess.
Oh, no shit.
Um,
Okay, so I'm definitely finishing Attack on Titan, the second half of season 4 before I do anything else now that I know that's out. Um,
yeah, Shogun. I'll say if you just watch the advertising, it looks like it's an action show. But if you go into it expecting more of like a political drama with some action, I think you'll be a lot more satisfied. Because
okay.
I didn't read the book and I didn't watch the original series in like 1980 or whatever. So I was like, oh, like we're building toward a war. And that's just not really the type of show that it is. So I think going into it knowing that, you'll probably like it more. But
Gotcha,
it's
gotcha.
got
Okay. No, I do like political dramas a lot, as long as they, like, say some good stuff, But
well, yeah, the reason I
I've
brought
been
it
hearing a
up
lot of
is
people praise this one.
yeah, the reason I brought it up is because they're in Japan, obviously in like 1500 or 1600, and the main guy, John, is it Blackstone, is obviously English, and there's some Portuguese people over there and whatever. But when they talk about each other in their own language, they call them barbarians and savages, and like they're like openly racist,
Right, right. And
which
that's exactly how it would be. So it
yeah,
makes it's, like, good for immersion,
yeah,
um,
exactly.
especially if they're speaking in their own language and they know they can't understand them. And it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna be saying shit. They know they have, like, that safety net. So, like, just let it play out how it would play out.
Well,
Um,
yeah, and then it's a huge part of his journey through the story too. Is he's like, what the fuck is going on in this part of the world? Like their customs and traditions are crazy, their beliefs are crazy, like, they have no value for individual life. So it's a huge part of the story too.
Wait. Are you telling me that people from different cultures are gonna think different things are normal? That's crazy,
Occasionally.
dude. I'm sorry. I was on Twitter too much today.
Oh yeah,
Some
that'll
people
definitely do
saying
it.
some dumb shit. Oh, man.
But the
Uh,
main guy is played by Hiroyuki Sanada. He's uh he's John Wick's friend in John Wick 4, if you've seen that. He's in a bunch of shit. I think he was in Bullet Train also. But whenever
um,
they need like a cool Japanese guy, he's like the one they always use.
oh, I know who you're talking about, but I haven't seen either of the I wanna watch Bullet Train. My wife and I kinda fell off of the John Wick series, so I don't know if I'll get around to watching that 4th one. I love the
Yeah.
1st one, I love the 1st one. When it
Yeah,
got, like, kinda culty and, and then, when I saw, like, a homeless dude being an assassin, I was like, "Okay, I think I'm out." But, I don't know. It
I
was
still have fun with them, but they're definitely worse as they go on. Just yeah,
yeah.
objectively.
And right, and it's which is why I think I would enjoy them. Like, there's definitely some action scenes in the 3rd one I liked, like, the whole, I think it's the 3rd one with the dogs
Yeah.
and how her dogs kept biting people in the crotch. I thought that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, but then I thought it was really hard for me to be immersed in, like, the final fight because everybody was basically bulletproof, and I'm like, "He's still beating them with guns." So, it was, like, kind of a mixed bag for me, like, on the enjoyment scale.
Yeah, that's
Um
kind of an issue, I would say, for all of them after the first one. Because in the first one, I mean, you know how it is, right? He gets shot in the chest and he's like, "Oh fuck." And he like runs
Yeah, it
away.
hurts, like, he's
Yeah.
bruised and shit. Like,
Yeah, and then by the fourth
yeah.
one, they literally use their jacket flaps, put them in front of their face, and then just walk around shooting whoever they want.
It's like a riot shield of leather.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's not
Oh,
even leather,
man.
it's literally a fucking suit jacket.
I just told you. Oh, that's wild, man. Because okay, I can accept that the material is bulletproof, but it's still going to move, right? There's nothing oh, man.
Exactly, especially when they're holding it up as a flap. Like it's not even
Yeah, it's just not gonna work like it okay, so you can either use it as a net, which will still hurt you, like, it's gonna bruise you, or it's just gonna flap up and still hit you in the face, and you're done. Oh, that's funny.
yeah. But
Shoot, there was a point I wanted to ask, when we were talking about Attack on Titan,
oh, well,
because I
while you're
haven't
thinking
watched
of
season
it, huh?
yeah. Oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I think Attack on Titan. What I was saying is I think it's probably the best series I've seen, which I know is not a popular opinion. I don't really give a shit. But there's a lot of stories like the Halo one. You know, I did a whole what would like if I was in the writer's room, what would I have suggested section? And there's a lot of shows that like when even when the writing is good, I'm like, oh, you know, I like that. But the idea is not too crazy. It's just good execution. But there's some like shows or series or whatever that the writing is so like I don't know if I would say advanced or complex, but it's just such a high level that I don't think if I had any amount of time ever that I could come up with a story like that. Like Attack on Titan to me is one of those stories. Kind of like did you ever
Yeah,
watch Dark on Netflix?
Dark.
It's a
Hold on, let me
German
look it up.
show. It's there's time travel involved and there's multiple timelines. And you know, they
Oh,
explain
no,
how
I
it
definitely
works.
haven't seen this.
They explain how it works and everything. But it's one of those shows that as you're watching it, you're like, holy shit. Like, who thought of all this?
Right, I get you. I actually, I have, like, the same respect for Attack on Titan. Like, it's definitely up there for me, as far as, like, shows I admire because like, the world building is insane, and they do a really good job at just peeling a little bit back
Yeah.
every season. Like, they never give you the big reveal, or they might give you what you think is the big reveal, but then there's something even bigger just waiting for the next season to show you. But it
Yeah.
doesn't feel arbitrary, like, "Oh, I have, like, a sword-proof shield type stuff." Like, no, it's just there's more going on in, like, the secrecy of, like, the populations and, like, the endless cycle, between, like, the enslavement and killing of each other, and it's like, "Holy shit, dude." They're doing a lot of stuff in this show, like, a lot. Like,
Yeah. And it's actually kind of crazy when you finish up the series. there's a bunch of videos on YouTube you can find where people will talk about different things that were foreshadowed like throughout the series, and like some of them I never would have caught. So like
Oh, really?
he planned the whole series out obviously before he started writing anything, and then he just carried it through.
Oh, that's nuts. I
Yeah,
gotta respect it, man. He had a vision. I
it's
imagine it was probably hard for him to stick to it. He probably had a whole bunch of people there since it got really, really popular. Um, they were probably trying to get him to change things. So,
they did make
hats
some
off to him.
he did make some minor changes. Did do you know what episode number you were on in part four? Like what was the last thing that happened?
The last thing was it was the season split. So like I think Reiner was jumping out of the airplane or the blimp.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And
so you didn't so you saw the stuff with Sasha already then.
yeah, I think Aaron was just about to transform. Even though I'm gonna have to rewatch that season that half of the season again because it's not fresh in my brain, or at least the last two episodes. But everybody was like drinking wine that was gonna make them.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah. They basically gave him all the shit that'll turn them into Titans, huh?
Yeah.
That's so dude,
Yeah, that
that's
was
fucking
awesome.
crazy.
Okay, so you saw Sasha die then. Like one of the
Can you
things
remind me which one Sasha is?
she's the one that eats the potatoes and
Oh, right. Yeah, that was so sad, dude. I loved her.
well, I was gonna
Oh,
say
man.
that's one of the things that he actually changed because he was gonna kill her. I think it was season two or early season three when they were in that little village and the Titan grabs her. She stabs it in the eye with an arrow and gets
Okay.
away. And he was gonna kill her there, but I guess one of his editors was like crying and was like, "Please don't kill her."
No way. Oh, I mean, she was a fun character, man. I was pretty sad when she died for real in
Yeah, that was
season
brutal.
4.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
deaths in that show that I was like, man,
Oh god, yeah.
like
Um,
Irwin, like the second half of season three
jeez.
is like
I was
some
just
of
about
my
to bring that
favorite
one up.
shit ever. Yeah,
I was
that
gonna ask you what your favorite scene was because I have mine. Like,
it's
if I'm ever trying to hook somebody in the show, I'll show them that bit, but,
it was
I'll
probably
let you go first.
when they're standing behind the houses and the Beast Titan is just throwing rocks at them, and Levi's like,
Right.
"Give up on your dreams and die," and then they do the charge. Because I was watching it, I was like, "There's no way they're gonna kill all." of them." Oh
Right.
man,
And then it was just like a shotgun blast of boulders
yeah. And the whole
over and
speech that
over
he gives
again.
too is just so good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know if you
yeah.
watch the Japanese or the English audio, but his voice actor fucking kills it in the Japanese.
I have to on this show, I have to do subbed. I cannot listen to the English dubbed in, Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that's how I am
The,
with everything. Like I watch everything in
okay.
sub for the first time, and then if I want to just put it on to go to bed, I'll put it on dub because I'm like I don't care. I've already seen it.
Well, the biggest thing that turned me off was when they English dubbed like, I was fine with a lot of that voice acting in English for season 1. I hated the way they changed the way the Titans sound. It was, it was more high pitched and squealy, kinda
Oh,
hurt my
really?
ears if I had it on, like, the same volume.
Huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, listen to, like, when Aaron transforms in season 1 or whatever, like, his first transform,
Yeah.
like, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, but if you just do, English dub versus English sub, you'll hear a significant difference, and it sounds way better in the Japanese version.
Oh, that's
Well,
crazy.
that's obviously an opinion thing, but
Yeah, I love the reveal from Reiner and Berthold too. When you ask about favorite scenes, where
oh, yeah,
where they're on top of the wall, and Reiner's like, "I'm just done with this place."
right, that was really good.
And then
That was really good.
I also loved when Kenny shows up to attack Levi and his group, and you get Levi doing like the Spider-Man shit through the city.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty dope. Um, so my favorite, like, action scene, hands down, is Levi just slicing all of the Titans that are in that half circle, and then, the Beast Titan is just kinda standing there like, "What the fuck?" They're all dead, and then you just see Levi come out of the smoke with blood all over his face.
Yeah,
The music just fucking hits, and I'm just like, "Holy shit, dude, get him." Yeah,
yeah,
I
that was awesome.
that's like dude, that's like peak anime shit right there. I was like, "This is fucking amazing."
Levi's got a really
Um,
good scene. I don't know if you would have seen it already.
No, he's still injured in my season 4. I can't wait for him to get his legs back though. I'm ready for him to do something.
Oh, okay. So you saw the wine then when
Yeah,
yeah, I love
yeah,
that scene too where Zeke turns them all and Levi's
yeah,
like yo, you thought I wouldn't kill my own men. And
yeah,
it
and he
does that
just starts
really
fucking
slow
slicing through him.
yeah, and it does that really slow zoom in where it's just on his face and the whole background is just filled with Titans. Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude. It's
that show's got so
he's
many
such
good
a beast,
moments.
bro. He is such a beast.
Yeah,
Um,
if you're ever looking for anime stuff, I can definitely recommend you plenty. Or if you're trying to watch it with your
okay,
wife, I
right
can
on.
recommend you stuff that maybe you'd both like more.
Well, so she actually I don't think she's ever watched an anime, but she's
Oh, okay.
definitely yeah, she's not into them. She's watched like a couple scenes here and there, but it's definitely not her cup of tea. She likes more of like the what's the genre that has like your police officer and doctor shows and like first respond like
Oh, like the
they're
CSI
active, but
type
they're
shit?
yeah, she loves like the CSI and Law and Order SVU
Oh,
stuff. Like she
okay.
watches that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um I'm slowly converting her though. She watched Lord of the Rings with me last year.
Oh, nice.
And I showed her Underwater, which she's not really, like, into weird monsters too, so, like, I was that was, like, a hard sell, but when she did it, she's like, "Okay, that movie was really good."
Is that the
And we
one with
just
the
watched Train to
Twilight chick?
Busan. Yeah, that was it.
Hmm. I never saw that one.
Mhm. Oh, dude, highly recommend. I won't say anything to spoil it, um,
Is it a
but,
scary movie or is it just like a weird movie?
I'm gonna say it's a horror suspense movie for sure,
Hmm. Okay.
um, and I'll just say it kinda pays homage to, the first Alien movie.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Uh, uh, it's not like a rip-off thing, like, it's legit. They do a couple scenes, but, like, maybe the same or, like, reversed, um, to kind of, like, s give you that vibe, and I really appreciate a couple of those shots, but,
Hmm.
it's a good one.
Did you ever
It's a
see
oh, yeah, it's a scary movie with good characters, so
I got you.
that should help sell it.
Did you ever see Life with Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds?
dude, that ending, holy shit. Yeah. I just wanted to see the sequel where the thing kept getting bigger and just took over the planet.
Yeah, that was a decent movie. I was shocked when they killed Ryan Reynolds that early though.
Bro, he had to know what he was getting into, like, the shock value of killing off their biggest actor.
Well, I think that was why. It was a smart choice, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was because I wasn't expecting it, but then the way he goes is, like, ridiculously gruesome, like, holy shit.
Yeah. Man, we fucking started
That
with
is a
Halo. We
fantastic
went
movie.
off of the rails.
Yeah, I figured this is what's gonna happen, which is why I was like, I'm just gonna I won't even try to structure this shit.
No, I don't care. I
Just
mean,
a heads up though, we do have about
yeah.
5 minutes, 20 seconds on this one.
Yeah, I see the timer at the top there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to say about the Halo show beyond how much dog shit it is anyway. I mean, we both do our videos and are you doing a more structured full season review or no? Did you decide?
Um, no, I kinda have a I don't know if I wanna announce this because 'cause I'm not 100% committed to it yet, but,
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
ahead and say it. I kinda wanna do a video about, like, what the Halo show should have been and run through some scenarios where, uh basically, I'm gonna pick a couple books to talk about. I'm gonna talk about I don't know exactly how I'm gonna structure that one. That might be the last thing I do in regards to the Halo show specifically. Um,
Yeah,
but right now I wanna finish my, like, Halo 2 review, which is turning into quite a chunker, so I'm
yeah.
excited to talk, like, really positively about something Halo related, so
Yeah, I was thinking of being done with the show, other than if it announces, obviously, if it gets canceled or continued, of doing like the Fall of Reach movie and Forward Unto Dawn compared to the show. Because I wonder how many people have
which
not even
Fall
seen
of
that
Reach
shit.
movie?
Yeah,
The
the animated one.
oh, the Halo follower, wait, no, is that the one who's doing it? The YouTuber?
No, no, it was a movie that came out maybe 8 years ago.
What the fuck?
It was an actual movie that followed the book by Eric Nyland. It was an animated movie. It's about an hour long. You can find it online easily.
Huh. Oh, dude, I'm gonna watch that soon too then. Okay, I got the Attack on Titan in that too. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I would say they hit all the big points and the big messages, but they definitely had to cut a lot of detail out because obviously it's only an hour long. Like the book, if
Right,
you read
right.
it, I mean, depending on how fast you read, I would guess is 6 hours ish, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not a fast reader. I think it took me like 8 hours, 8 or 9.
Yeah, well, the audiobook is
But
like
I'm
11 or
ballparking.
12, so I was assuming about half, but I don't know for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But yeah, so I think that I was thinking about doing one more thing just so people can understand that first of all, there's other stuff out there that's better. And
Right.
also, the way that Forward Unto Dawn did it. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that one too. And the way that Forward Unto Dawn did it, I thought was smart, where Lasky is the main guy, you know, I mean, he's the main character. Like it's his story.
right, right,
And Chief doesn't show up until the last 25, 30 minutes.
right. I feel like you have to have other characters doing more and John doing less especially when it comes to non-action scenes.
If you don't want Master Chief to take his helmet off, if you want him to be kind of just the human cyborg killing automaton, then you have to make the main character someone else.
Right,
Or if you don't care if he takes his helmet off, which I personally don't, it's more just a matter of how it's done.
right.
But
And I know that's a hot take. I actually completely agree with you. That was like one of my last things I complained about in season 1 behind like just everything not making sense.
yeah, I think the reason people bring it up so much is more of it's just kind of symbolic about how they view the show or the series or whatever the brand, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Like they view it as just theirs to do as they see fit. They wouldn't even have tried to do that. But I think, if you want him to be helmeted the whole time and whatever, then you need to do a story about, Johnson and Keyes and Halsey, all these characters that are really interesting in the books anyway. Maybe even you could expand on Hood a little bit because Admiral Hood does have stuff going on in the books, you know, particularly the Kilo 5 trilogy. But even
Oh, I'd
throughout,
love to hear more on him. I haven't read anything about him.
yeah, and even throughout, um First Strike and all that, like he still has a part. I mean, you just read Fall of Reach recently. There's a conversation in there between him and Ackerson where Ackerson is
Was
kind of
that with Hood?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shit. Okay,
where
I thought that was
Ackerson
with
is
somebody
bitching.
else.
Yeah, he's bitching about Halsey's robots and Hood like
Yeah.
tears him a new asshole
Yeah,
about
I remember that conversation. I don't know who I thought it was with, but okay. Okay, cool.
I could be misremembering. I'm pretty sure it's Hood though. And Hood's like
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
these Spartans
Um,
have saved my life multiple times and yours as well. Like you're gonna show them respect. And he like tears him a new asshole.
oh shit.
Yeah, it's a really good scene. But that's
Okay.
what I mean is like there's a lot of stuff that you can do that doesn't need to include John. Or if you want to include him, just make him consistent. Make him look albino
Right.
with a shaved head and
Yeah.
really
Well,
stoic.
I always wondered too, because like you come back to the base, you would shave your head and face. Depending how long you're like in the armor, wouldn't you like grow your hair would just grow in there? Like if Master Chief was in that ship for a while?
I wondered that too, or if you're supposed to assume that the helmet and everything is so fitted that it just,
Uh
not
or
like not
like
like
his body's like adapted to it almost.
well, I was gonna say more like it like just keeps the hair short because it can't grow. Like I mean, obviously hair breaks.
Right, right.
So I would imagine if you wore a helmet like that all the time, you could at least justify it that way. Or
Yeah,
you
I
could
guess
have it grow
yeah,
a little
because
bit. I
people who
mean,
wear hats constantly, like, they start balding before people that don't. So, like, if their genes aren't that great, it's not that's just bro science right there.
yeah, I was gonna say
But
it
yeah.
sounds pretty well tested. But
Yeah, no, not at all.
But that's what I mean, though, is like I think Ford Unto Dawn did a really good job of this, where you have Lasky, you have his friend with the big lips, uh, you have the blonde chick, you have the Asian kid, like you get all their backgrounds, the ginger kid,
Right.
like they all had their own little stories and shit going on. And then, when they start fucking dying, you're like, oh shit. And then, Lasky has the whole background with his brother. It's all very basic, but just
I do like that. I
solid
think that was
character
one of my
stuff.
favorite parts of the movie was the background with him and his brother, and then you find out, like, his brother had passed away in combat, but he was getting messages from him, and it was, like, between him and the Onis, and so they were talking about, like, the Oni War, and then there's, like, this, like, weird, "What is that I'm looking at in this image here?" And it's, like, a distorted elite,
Yeah.
and, like, we know, but they don't. It was a kind of a fun little cinematography thing they did there, and, like, they didn't even try to do that in this TV show. Like, there was nothing. It was just like, "Here's the Covenant. Also, here are the prophets," especially in season 1. They're like, "These guys run everything, and here they are."
Well,
I hope
that's what I
that's
wanted to
cool.
circle back to because you were talking about like what they could have done with the show. If they were really budget concerned, they could have started with Contact Harvest.
Oh, yeah, that's like my I think that that's the perfect one to start with because you clearly wanna have some representation there because they race swapped, the Keys duo, but instead, you could have just done Contact Harvest and made it about Sergeant Johnson, who's, like, a fan favorite, and
Yeah.
then but I don't know, I feel like I don't know, you might know more about this than me, but, like, do you think that you could probably make a practical grunt costume with, like, a short person? Because you do have that deacon that's, like, got a side story in that book. Do you think that they could actually pull that off with, like, maybe a practical effect instead of a CGI little grunt walking around?
I mean, they did it with fucking Ewoks like 50 years ago.
Right, so I'm thinking it's not that it shouldn't be out of the question that you have, like, a main character grunt who we spend, like, I don't know, 10% of our time with because his scenes weren't that long in the book. But that could really help us dive into, like, the Covenant hierarchy and political structure and stuff like that,
Yeah, and their
and you could
mentality and
roll
their culture, everything.
right, and you can do it all through, like, a grunt who's just kind of, like, just trying to survive, and you could make it relatively cheap with a costume instead of, like, a bunch of CGI shit everywhere.
Well, my
Um,
understanding for that, I mean, I'm not, this is not something that I have like a deep knowledge of, is that like the first Iron Man movie in 2008 or whatever it was,
right,
they do a practical costume. And then once everything is filmed, they just touch it up with CG so it looks, like nice and shiny and like part of
right,
the world.
right,
So I would
and
think
that's
I
when the
would
suit
think
looked
that
the
what you're
best, like,
saying,
it
yeah.
looked the realest, and then it got more and more CGI, and it started looking a little bit worse.
Yeah, exactly. So I would think that what you're saying is right, that you could do a grunt. And I think people kind of forget the grunts, I'm pretty sure are like average height of a human.
Yeah, I think if you throw, like, a 5'2" person, like, basically just have a woman body actor because their average height, I think, is like 5'3". Uh, just throw a woman in a grunt costume, and there you go. Just, ADR the voiceover, and you're solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
shit, you could probably just get Andy Serkis to do it. He'll do anything in, like, mocap or, like, like a costume, like, he does all that kinda stuff.
okay, I just
Not that
Googled it.
he
It
would be a
says
part of
it
this
says the
show.
average grunt is 5'6". So there's no
Oh,
way.
damn, they are tall.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
that's
with or without backpack?
I'm not sure. I just quickly pulled up the first result.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
either
Well, yeah, but
way,
that's still, like, that's super doable.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, Andy Serkis is a good point because Planet of the Apes is about to come out, and the CG in those movies is, I would say, some of the
Incredible.
best that I've seen. Like,
Right.
if you ever have like 5 or 10 minutes to just kill, like on the toilet or something, you should pull up the Planet of the Apes behind the scenes stuff, and you can
Ooh.
see Andy Serkis talk about how he like studied, chimp movement and stuff. And then they do a side by
Oh,
side where the
shit.
screen is split in half. So you can see his, regular face on one half and then what's in the movie on the other. It's nuts.
Oh, man, I love that guy for how he commits. It's nuts.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And
But
well, and it's funny too because so he does a bunch of these roles that you never actually see his face. Like, he's starting to get more now, but he commits to that shit and he works so hard, and then you have somebody who like Pablo Schreiber is like, "No, I want my face. Take the helmet off right away." And I'm like, "Dude, I have so much more respect for Andy Serkis, not you."
yeah, no shit. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is
And,
like, so Contact Harvest, I mean, you could make the argument that it wouldn't draw in like a new audience or whatever, but I think if you get that first season ending with the Covenant attacking Harvest, that's a pretty good hook for your second season.
Oh god, yeah, man. I mean, because you already have all the fans at that point. If you execute like Contact Harvest well, because there's a lot of people that played the games that didn't read the books.
Oh
They might
yeah.
recognize that and be like, "Oh man, a TV show about Sergeant Johnson. I'm all over it."
Yeah,
And then
exactly. Or if you really wanted to, and this probably wouldn't be as cheap because of the space component. Have you read the Cole Protocol?
no, it's on my list. If I did, I was too young to remember it,
Okay, so Cole
unfortunately.
Protocol, for people who don't know, is kind of Key's backstory. So at this point, we're like in the Covenant War. Like, it's going, the Spartans exist. And this one it has Gray Team, which I would have to look up, but I think it's Jai. Oh, I can't remember the other two. It's two chicks. But Gray Team is like kind of the weirdos who like to be behind enemy lines, you know.
Are they Spartan 2s?
Yes.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
months, years at a time, whatever. And this is actually where the rubble comes in that the show took and just bastardized.
Made Harry Potter Space Station.
Harry Potter. They made it like retard Mad Max.
Yeah, no shit. Space. We
Like, I'm not even sure what you would call it. It's like they're living in these little rock hovels and shit. Anyway, so in the book, the rubble is like this big ass asteroid. They're which they've hollowed out and they live inside. And the general plot is that Keys at this point is not a captain, and they get caught up in this shit because it's insurrectionist, obviously. And
right.
what they find out, and this is another one where you get a story from the alien perspective and the human perspective, is that the rubble is trading with Kigyar because they're like, look,
Oh, yeah.
maybe we can get along
That's
with the
your
Covenant. We don't have to fight them.
your
And the Kigyar that
that's
they're
where Raph
trading,
is, right? The
huh?
original Raph
The
or
original Ref,
the
yeah,
character?
yep.
Or
So
Ref, yeah.
Ref is the Kigyar in charge of this. So on the one side, you have Keys, who's like trying to deal with insurrection. You have the rebel characters. You have Ref, who's trading with the humans, and then you have this elite. I can't remember his name, who's trying to investigate and figure out what Ref is doing and if he's a traitor to the Covenant. And
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's the story of the rebel, and it's a really good book. And this is where you see Keys, sort of become, well, not become, but he's like you see how he's a tactician and he's really good in these kind of improv situations where he has to come up with a strategy on the fly. And obviously you've seen
Yeah,
that
he did that
yourself
in
and
the
Reach and all
first,
that.
book and yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So like all of that stuff reinforces how, how much like honor Keys has, how much of a resource he is, how smart he is. And all that makes it so much more emotional when you get to Combat Evolved and you lose Keys. Like it's a huge blow to the UNSC and to John personally because he has a lot of respect
Oh,
for him.
yeah, and then it comes again in Halo 2 when, they're basically honoring him through his daughter
Yeah.
in that opening scene, and it's just, that hits you right in the feels again, right there, right off the bat.
I was actually
And she's
just
like, "I'm gonna
playing
try to pick up where he left off."
I just played Cairo Station the other day because I was screwing
Yeah,
around trying to get footage for this video actually or for this
right.
discussion. And first of all, the graphics in Halo 2 Anniversary are insanely good.
Oh god, yeah. I just wanna have, like, a show or a movie, like, with that animation style. Like,
Yeah.
if they can't nail live action, I would absolutely take that.
Yeah, no shit. But also what I was gonna say is Miranda in that opening scene, they let her do more kind of emotive acting than probably the entire show where she's just kind of like snarky bitch.
Well, no, you gotta get him running around yelling and acting confused and stuff. That's more important.
Like I
It's
I love that little thing where she gets her dad's medal and,
yeah, you see
and
her,
it-
like, swallow and,
yeah,
like, she's holding
exactly.
back her tears,
Exactly. I was gonna say the
and sh
graphics are so good, you can see all that detail, like where her eyes are glassy. It's
Yeah,
such a good
yeah,
scene.
yeah, it's animation from, like, what, 10 years ago at this point,
Something like
and
that, yeah.
it's like, what, it's 4 seconds of a scene, and I felt more then than anything that has to do with any of those characters in that show. And it's a really clever way to get you invested immediately back into the story of the first game because, like, your brain's processing the fact that Keyes is dead. Key's a war hero. He basically sacrificed himself, and, you find out if you read the book that he was actually being tortured by the proto grave mind in his brain or whatever,
Yeah.
and he just kept saying his and it's like you all of that stuff comes kind of flooding back into your mind when you just see her have that reaction, and it's just a facial expression that they animated on screen for you,
Yeah.
and it just goes to show it like less is more, a little can go a long way. It's man, I love Halo 2. That's the story in Halo 2 just is so good.
I know,
Um,
and we brought Ref up, and the way that they used him in the show was he was like the crazy homeless looking black dude that John pins up against the wall and goes, "What am I?"
what am I? My favorite scene in the first season.
And it's like,
What am I?
why can't we just have stoic John who sometimes fails because that's the nature of war. Like, or
Right,
some battles are just unwinnable. That's a huge thing in the Fall of Reach book, is that he keeps being like there's a big chunk where he's really insecure about his leadership abilities because so many of them died during the augmentations. And he's
right.
like,
Oh, yeah, that was a
I've failed
big,
my
big
mission.
part of that chapter.
What was
He
that?
said, he was like he asked his, what was his name? The guy, the sergeant that was,
Oh, oh shit.
the
I
drill
just
instructor guy. He was,
Mendez. Yeah.
Mendez, right, thank you. He goes to Mendez after, everybody left, and he said, "Were those lives wasted
Or spent. Yeah.
or spent?" Right, yeah, and it's such a strong moment in regards to, like, John's character and
Yeah,
the
and
fact
that
that, like, every single life lost is, like, it matters to him, but he's not running around screaming about it. He didn't, like, grab Mendez and go, "What am I? What happened to them?" You know? Like, he's Jesus.
well, I think they actually include that little moment in the animated Fall of Reach movie. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
And that's what I mean though,
I
is
need
like
to
you
watch
don't have
that.
to go crazy and complex to have just good, thoughtful messages.
No. No, you
Like
don't, and
that's a reality on the ground for John every day. Is it like, are people dying unnecessarily, or am I just doing what I have to?
right, right. And did I finish the mission? Like, that was always his deal in the book too, and I don't know. There's so much, like, good lore, good character stuff going on. Like, I feel more like either reading or listening to an audiobook of, like, a scene, like and I can, like, analyze and talk about, like, a scene for so long, but then when it comes to this show, it's like you guys couldn't even I don't even think they nailed a single scene outside of Ackerson talking to his dad, and that's, like, in isolation, like, disregarding everything surrounding that scene, just him talking to his dad was probably, like, the only thing I could praise about, like, 2 whole seasons of television, which
Yeah,
is insane to say.
I know I said it in my video, but I felt bad for Joseph Morgan because like clearly the
Oh,
dude
I
can
like
act.
that guy.
Like I haven't seen him in other stuff because I don't watch that much TV, but he's very capable as an actor. Like it's obvious. And they
Oh, dude,
just make
I
him
watched, we didn't watch all of Originals, but we watched all the Vampire Diaries, my wife and I, and, dude, he's, like, my favorite actor in that whole, like, double series thing. He's super cool. I've been a big Joseph Morgan fan ever since I watched that with her.
yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like you like there's talent there. I mean, Pablo Schreiber, regardless of what I think of him, I would imagine he can at least act some. Like, the guy that plays keys, I know people shit all over his speech because the show sucks, but there's something there. They just don't give them
Yeah,
anything to do.
I didn't wanna shit too much on the speech. I mainly just wanted to shit on the second half when he had John come up there. Um because like you said, I just like seeing him do something that I don't know. I started letting the meta creep into my brain for some of these people. I'm like, I feel like these actors are just getting used and abused right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the thing with John, I think I said this in my video too. I was kind of laughing where everyone's like, "Oh, that's John." And it's like the motherfucker's supposed to be like
Dude, he's like 8 feet tall.
I'll say he's supposed to be like 6'10" and jacked. And also the
Yeah.
dude walks around with no helmet on like he's at the beach.
Yeah.
Like,
He was like if he would the whole first season and never took his helmet off, then that reaction would make sense, but I'm like, everybody should know what his face looks like.
yeah,
There should
exactly.
be pictures of he goes shows up to random corporals' houses and has dinner with their family, like, motherfuckers know who this is.
Yeah,
I
then
don't care if he has his hood up.
he yells at the poor interns changing the signs.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, he turned
privates, I
every
guess,
head
not
in there.
interns.
I like calling him an intern because it just sounds funny. He's like, "Dude, I don't know what's going on." It's, uh,
Yeah, oh
Where's
man.
Cobalt? What happened to Cobalt?" He's like, "Ah, dude, I don't know. It's just I only make like 7.25 an hour."
I was just say probably still making that in fucking 25.52 too.
Exactly. It's like Netflix is set to cast Megan the Stallion as Boa Hancock in One Piece live action series.
Oh, I think I saw that it was bullshit that she just cosplays as her for fun or something, and then for some reason that meme got created.
Oh, really? It's not
That's
even
what
a
I,
real
that's what I
thing?
read. I don't know.
Oh,
But
that's
I'm
I wouldn't be surprised, either way actually on this one.
well, I'm pretty sure the guy Oda that writes One Piece has a lot of say in the show. So I'd be shocked if they were doing any of that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, he seemed like he was, very hands-on season 1, so I
Yeah, I
don't
mean, good
think,
for him.
yeah, seriously, like, more of that.
I mean, it doesn't always work
I
out.
just
Like Orson Scott Card wrote the script for Ender's Game, and a lot of people did not like that movie.
Ender's Game, did I watch that? Oh, I gotta look it up. It sounds familiar.
It's got Harrison Ford. It's mainly about kids though in a space military. The book is a classic. I would say it's like one of the sci-fi, it's on the level of Dune or whatever.
'Kay. It looks very familiar, and
It's
I'm
on
having
Netflix
0
right now
memories about it.
if you feel like checking it out. I
I
might hate being
swear
that
I've seen yeah,
guy.
I definitely need a refresh. For it's funny, I feel like I've seen it, I don't remember anything about it, though. That's really odd feeling to have.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Um,
But I mean, I hate
I
being
don't
that
think I've
guy, but it's definitely one of those the book is better type deals. I think the movie's fine. I don't think the
Oh, so you
movie's
think the
like,
book's better?
huh?
Oh, go ahead, finish your thought,
Oh,
but
no,
I
I would
don't
say I
let
don't
me
think it's
forget
not
this
like
one.
an abomination or anything, but the book is just, you know, it can flesh out a lot more detail and shit. Just how he always is.
Right, right. I don't know, I feel like with Lord of the Rings, it's like kinda this isn't what I was gonna ask you. It's like, I kinda like them both in their own right, because they both kinda do something a little different. Um, but anyways, what I was going to ask you was book versus game. If you were gonna see Halo Reach adapted, would you rather see the game on this big screen or the book?
Book.
You're a
I
big
I
book
know
guy?
people love the game, but I think the game is fine for what it is, and I think it's a good way to to reach an audience who didn't read the books. But to me, the original Eric Nyland book is kind of the cornerstone of the franchise.
Right.
I mean, that's the one
No,
that
it
lays all the groundwork, for what the Spartans are, for their mentality, their
right.
augmentations, how many of them are left. Like that is the one that just sets up everything. And I know
So
they
the way
did.
I try to oh, go ahead.
I heard they did like an updated edition. I've actually never read it, and apparently the updated edition is supposed to try to work in the game to make them both line up. I don't know if it
Oh,
does it
that's
successfully or not, but that's what
cool.
I've heard.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I try to headcanon both. Like, I basically just cherry pick in my brain because I kind of adore the game, so, like, I want them both to coexist because I really I love the book. So I'm like, I can't have one without the other, so how do you make, like, the whole Cortana situation happen when they're very, very different scenarios? Um, that's, like, the biggest one for me, I think, is because you can basically have Noble Team doing their thing on the ground while Chief's in space, and that it doesn't really contradict anything, but the biggest thing being Halsey giving the Cortana vial to Noble 6 to deliver to Chief on the Pillar of Autumn versus, her choosing him right off the bat and going with him
Are
for
they
that training.
are they Spartan threes in the Fall of Reach game?
All of them but George. I guess George is a Spartan too.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. See, I think they're kind of irreconcilable because the Spartan threes in that game, at least as far as I can tell, are Spartan two equivalents. Like,
So, I don't know where this information is because I was asking around trying to figure this out, and I guess most Spartan 3s didn't have armor like that, but because of Noble Team's accomplishments, they were actually given, like, Mark 5B armor, which is a slightly shittier version of the Mark 5 that Master Chief wears in Halo Combat Evolved.
huh.
Um,
Well,
so
Ghost
I
of
guess
Onyx is where you
uh,
get your Spartan three lore, but
right. Do you remember
from
that
do I remember what?
do you remember that being in the book at all?
From what I remember,
Like,
they call it SPI armor, and it
okay.
looks kind of like what you saw on the show, actually, where it's like I can't remember what SPI stands for, but it's essentially like this sort of semi-transparent, but like better than ODST armor. But the
Okay.
Spartan threes themselves are still augmented. So they're not augmented to the degree of the twos because of the survival rate.
Right.
I'm just going off the top of my head, so hopefully I'm not making any big
No, no,
mistakes.
you're 100 that's how I've always explained it to people, is basically, like, they made it a safer process, but the end result isn't as good.
Yeah. So you end up with like, the way that they describe in the Fall of Reach for the twos is that when they're like 13, 14 years old, they look like 20-year-old Olympic athletes. And that's kind of the impression that
Yeah,
I
I
got.
remember Halsey, she almost said it, like, word for word the way you just said it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the impression that I got for the threes is that they're like, you know, like 18-year-old Olympians, but they don't have the augmentations that take them to like the next step of human evolution.
Right. Um, actually, I just had a thought. I might try to find that book that's supposed to meld the 2 because I've never heard it outside of that one time somebody said it, which it made sense, but maybe this new book actually does have an explanation as to why Noble Team has, the Mark 5B armor, um, which could be if they do find a way to, like, not clunkily blend the 2 together, I'd be super on board with because it's kinda hard for me to write off either of the game or book. Like, I really like
I
both.
think I think you can probably have the game if you take away the Cortana part.
Right,
Like if you have them, like they need to get something from Halsey at Sword Base. They have missions that they're trying to complete before the Covenant takes over. I think that part can work. But the Cortana thing, John gets Cortana like really early on
right,
and does like a
right.
training thing with her to prove that the Spartan twos were worth all the money and time. And
Yeah,
that's
when
like
he,
a
like,
huge thing for his
pushed the
character,
missile,
obviously.
that was
Huh?
super dope. They, like, tried to kill him,
Yeah.
Ackerson tried to kill him with, like, an airstrike, and he, like, pushes the missile with Cortana's help.
Yeah, he
That
smacks
was
it.
super cool. Yeah, that's crazy. But,
Yeah, it's still, I mean, it still
yeah,
fucks him
I
up, but yeah.
prefer that with the Cortana thing, but it's kinda like, so what do we have Noble Team do that's, like, super duper important? Because, like,
I would say you probably just have to have him like purging databases and then maybe relaying one important piece of information, whatever, a disk or whatever the fuck
yeah,
from,
it'd be an easy fix.
yeah,
I just yeah, I want their story to be there, but I want Cortana to be with, like, Chief, you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
so in my brain, I kinda cherry pick, like, what's canon because I don't want either one to exist over the other, I guess.
Yeah, and I think if you really wanted to, you could even make whatever the information that they transport is. is like something, Forerunner related, and that's how Cortana ends up picking the coordinates that lead them to Halo. Because if I'm
Right.
remembering correctly, it's been a while since I read Fall of Reach. I'm like halfway through right now. The book ends and she has coordinates that she's seeing, and she's like, "What is this thing?" And then so when
Right.
Keys wants to fly, like subspace jump, it's supposed to be random, but she goes toward like those coordinates, and that's how they end up at Halo. So it's not like a total
Right. Yeah.
coincidence. It's like kind of like a guided, you know, like she
A
sent them in
guided
that
random jump.
direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I remember her saying something about that. I might have to go back to that page and like see what you're talking about. I know that they kept it kind of vague because um yeah, yeah. I'll have to go back and look at it because I'm not remembering all the details on that.
Yeah, it's oh man, there's so much lore. How many of the books have you read? Are you just getting started?
Well, so I read I think of the how many Bungie books are there? Because there's only like 6, right?
Oh, I thought there was like 20,
Um
but I don't know.
no, I think they like 343 kind of started like really pumping out books after they got the rights to the games and stuff.
Huh. Okay, I didn't know that.
Um Because I looked into it because I was trying to reread books that I had read as a kid, and because I remember reading Ghost of Onyx as a kid, but I remember virtually nothing about it. I think I was, like, just too young. Um, and then I know I read Fall of Reach and, Contact Harvest. Those are the only 3 that come to mind. I've read 2 of those now, and,
Okay. Well,
my
the
plan is to
flood.
go through all of them again. And then I recently read just for fun, like, the book that has it's like a short story, like, I think it's less than 200 pages. It's about, the shipmaster Artas and kinda what he was getting up to after the Covenant War.
Huh, I haven't read that one. There's definitely a
It's
few that I
I
haven't
don't remem
read because there's so many of them.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read much since 34 since, 343's thing. To be totally honest, never really got into, like, any of their games, which is well, we could save that conversation for another time if you want to. That's kind of a long one. Um, I
Yeah,
kind
I
of just,
I
like
feel like I'm more lenient with 343 than a lot of people. Like I'm
okay.
fine. I think my biggest issue is that they seem so scared of criticism. Like I liked Halo 4. I know people shit all over it because it was hard to follow and whatever other issues. But to me, they should have just committed and been like, look, this is the next trilogy we're gonna tell or whatever. And instead they were like, oh no. And then we got Halo 5. And then again they were like, oh shit. And then we got Infinite. So now it's become like this really disjointed thing where it's
I
like,
reset 3 times.
yeah, whereas like, yeah, Master Chief is there. He's just kind of bouncing around the galaxy. Who the hell knows why?
My biggest and, I'll try to just keep it short. My biggest complaint with it was the, um, the 5-year gap basically making like, they basically decided to have, like, a faction of elites be bad guys because elites are such good, like, enemies to have. And I think they wanted to have that original Halo feel with it. So, like, when you wake up and Cortana's like, "I need your help." I thought that scene was awesome, but when I walked up and I had to assassinate that elite, I was like, "Oh, man, I really liked that alliance. I don't I don't wanna kill these guys," but I kept hoping that maybe I found like, they were doing it on accident because they didn't know I was who I was. Uh, but then I'm like, "Oh, no, this is just, like, a totally different faction," like, the further I got in the game. That
Yeah,
was,
and
like,
see,
one of
that's a huge mistake 343 made was like tying in a whole bunch of story stuff to books. So like I've read the Kilo 5 trilogy, so I understand why there's a million factions of elites. But,
Okay.
I mean, 99.9% of fucking gamers aren't doing that. And they shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
Like,
well, and yeah, Halo 5 was even worse for that. Like, you had to read, like, a pretty substantial amount of stuff before you got into Halo 5. When I played Halo 5, I had no fucking clue what was going on. I'm like, "Okay, this is
yep.
kind of unacceptable for a game franchise."
And you know what makes it even worse is they just had a book come out. Um, oh shit, what's it called? It's by Kelly Gay. She's done a bunch of their books. And she's a pretty good author.
I know the name.
But they just had a book come out that's supposed to explain shit in Halo 5. And it's like, that's what we're doing?
Why? Just give up on it, please. Like,
Like,
just
like
move
we had to
on.
have a book come out a decade later that explains the fucking story?
We could be doing some other things. Like, oh man.
See, it's
Yeah, we
funny
should
because
definitely have a conversation about the games.
yeah,
I'd like to.
it's funny. You seem annoyed by Halo 4. I'm actually more annoyed by fucking Infinite because now they've made the
Okay, no,
banished
I have a
like,
lot of problems with Infinite. I just feel like Halo 4 kinda set us down the path.
yeah.
Like with what you said, the lack of commitment on their part.
Yeah, I mean, in Halo 5, they should have just continued the story they wanted to tell, bring the didact back because you can't kill them the way that they did, and just keep going.
Right.
And instead, we get this bullshit in Halo Infinite where it's like, I want to
Ezra
have a
monologuing
fight
for
in a
hours.
sandbox with you, and let's all fuck around, and you can challenge my bosses. Like,
Dude,
and oh, also, by the
Ezra
way, the
just
Banished is equivalent to the Covenant somehow.
yeah, yeah. Would logistically, that makes 0 fucking sense, but alright.
And don't worry,
I
guys,
don't
we
know how
brought
people like
Cortana
that
back, but
story.
shittier and uglier.
Yeah, and confused and, like, young and naive for some reason.
God.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
again, they killed off their
I've
big villain off screen. Again.
yeah, dude, I'm laughing because 'cause they're just so inept as a company. I'm like, "Jesus Christ, what is happening over there?"
God,
Oh,
if they would give me like my salary right now to write the next fucking game for them, I would gladly do it.
oh, easy, dude, easy. I'd do take that in a fucking heartbeat. I'd be like, I just be able need to be able to, like, live the exact same way I am, yeah. I'll take this salary. I got
Yeah.
you.
And just continue with Infinite, even though I hated that fucking game. And I would probably have it be kind of similar to Halo 2.
Yeah,
And
I
maybe
like
you
having
play
the
as
2
like an elite in the
perspectives.
Banished or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you end the game with your Atriox fight.
I actually have a big Halo 4 video that I've been working on in the background, but I'll have to save that for another time because I can't be spoiling that video. That's, I gotta get the creative juices flowing on that one.
Oh, well, the reason I asked about the books was because, okay, for the books, if you read them in order, not chronological timeline, just when they came out, if you go Fall of Reach, the Flood, a lot of people will say skip the Flood because it goes through the game details. I actually think it's a really important book because it covers all the other shit going on with the ring and it makes the timeline
Yeah,
like much more clear. And
I
then First
actually
Strike
liked
follows
that
that
book a
one.
lot. I have seen people say skip that one, and I'm like, "I thought it was fun." I didn't mention it. Yeah, I remember reading that book, pretty vividly. I think that's the one I remembered the most.
Yeah, I'm echoing again a little bit.
Oh, shit. Damn it. I think my air conditioning shut off, so maybe it just started picking it up. Hold on. Try again.
Let's see how I sound. It's like really quiet, but I can still hear it.
Yeah, let me try moving my microphone away or turning my gate down a little bit. Alright. Yeah, one more time.
Okay, let's see. It's like barely there still. I don't even know if it would
Man,
be,
that's
I'm not sure if it would get picked up
uh,
or not, but it's probably fine.
just keep going until you I'm gonna keep going slowly down.
Okay.
Do the mauler going. Oh
Yeah, la,
shit.
la, la, la. Okay, I don't hear anything now. So,
Okay, sweet. Got it.
okay.
I
So
think
for
it's
the,
because my AC shut off, so it
okay.
yeah.
So after the flood, if you read First Strike, that one literally picks up where Combat Evolved ends. And that kind of bridges the gap between one and two for the games. And then
Right.
go,
And I haven't read First Strike. It's on my list.
I
I'm
like First
definitely gonna
Strike a
get to that
lot.
one soon.
First Strike is pretty
And
good. And
yeah,
that's,
I've heard a couple like small bits about it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds badass. Like
yeah.
I'm really excited to read that one.
And that one's definitely got some more of John's character stuff. I'll try, I won't spoil anything too important, but there's a conversation that him and Halsey have where you figure out how Sergeant Johnson survived the flood. And what you find out is
Oh,
because
nice.
he was in the Orion project, which was like the Spartan 1 project, he ended up being
Okay.
exposed to a lot of plasma grenades, and it caused a disease in his DNA called boron syndrome. So his central nervous system was fucked up. So the flood just skipped over him because they were like, oh, he's
Oh shit.
defective. Yeah. So
Kind of
John
like
and Halsey had this
that Brad Pitt
conversation.
movie.
Huh?
Kind of like that Brad Pitt movie. I can't remember what it's called.
World War Z.
World War Z. Yeah, when they if you like have a sickness that they won't infect you.
Oh God, the book was so much fucking better. But
That's all I ever hear.
yeah.
I mean, so I hadn't read the book, so that was just kind of like a fun zombie movie for me, but like I get the contention completely.
Well, the book was slow zombies, which is obviously a huge change. And then the way the book is told, I'll try to be fast, is you get like 40 different short stories from people all around the world, like throughout different parts of the zombie outbreak.
Oh, dude, that would be so interesting.
Yeah, so you get to see all kinds of stuff and different experiences and whatever. The movie was just kind of generic zombie movie. But
And my favorite scenes in The Last of Us, I think were the ones where we got flashbacks to the beginning of the outbreak, especially in the episode 2 one with the woman that studies like what was she? She was
I,
like a
I haven't seen
fungal
the
expert of
show
some
or played
kind.
the game, so
Oh shit. Oh, yeah, I won't say anything then.
I mean I
But
know like the big points, but the most I've
oh,
heard is about the
okay.
shit that happens in Last of Us 2.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm nervous about the 2nd season. Well, if you do end up watching the show, the beginning of episode 2 is like a flashback scene. It's probably my favorite scene in the whole show. Just the way it was acted and portrayed and the tone and everything and the soundtrack that went along with it was really, really good.
Hmm.
That's probably pretty intense for people to say because there are some pretty cool things in that season that, yeah, I think I would put it above it. Just it was very short and very effective. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say was I got distracted. Oh, so after the first strike,
Yeah, yeah, my bad.
you can read Ghost of Onyx, and that's the one that follows Kurt. You get Kelly, Linda, Fred. So blue team except for John. And Kurt is
Okay.
maybe the best Spartan. I think not
He's
best
the
like skill wise,
bigger
just
one, right?
huh?
He's the one that always could have won, but always got, like, 2nd place in
No,
the
that's
Reach book.
that's Fred. Um,
Oh, Fred, okay.
yeah, Fred is always the one who just chose to get second because he didn't want to be in like a leadership position or anything or draw attention.
Oh, I gotcha. What a Chad.
Yeah. No, Kurt is the one that they say has the most personality and he's the most like normal. And then you find out also that he has like really good intuition.
Oh, okay.
So he's the
That's
one who
cool.
trains the threes because of his
Okay,
person.
yeah, I definitely wanna read that book again because I know I read it because, like, I can remember, like, the cover sitting in my house, but I just don't have any memory of it.
Yeah. And then if you like Ghost of Onyx, that leads into the Kilo 5 trilogy, which seems to be divisive for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why.
Hold on, I might be able to answer it for you. What's it you said Kilo 5, like Kilo
Yeah.
5?
Yeah.
Um, let's see.
Well, I
It
think that's
was
the first one
made
that really kind of like makes Halsey just they just call her a piece of shit. And
do you know when 343 took over? Hold
ugh,
on.
probably
So this was
2010, right?
October 25th, 2011. Um,
It
and the
probably would have been
3rd was
around
in 20
then.
okay, so yeah, this is during 343's tenure, that's probably why.
That was right at the beginning. And then Karen Travis is the one that wrote them. And I like her writing style. She actually wrote all the original Gears of War books, but
Oh, cool.
people seem to not really enjoy what she did with the story. But then there's a bunch of stuff like
Okay.
that spins off. Like Last Light. That's another book that follows Fred Linda Kelly and it introduces Veda Lopez and some Spartan threes. It brings in. So that one is like a kind of like a detective thriller type story.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I really like it. So that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of books and they go off in all kinds of directions.
Mm.
You get random stuff for John still, like it's not Silent Storm. It's oh shit. There's one where they go back to Reach and do stuff. But yeah, there's just a lot of good shit. Even the comics people like. I never read the comics, but I would definitely recommend the first like 5 or 6 books, like Contact Harvest, Cold Protocol, Ball of Reach, The Flood, First Strike, Ghost of Onyx are all really good. The
Yeah,
four the
the
Forerunner trilogy, I would say,
First
is my
Strike,
least favorite by Greg Bear. His writing style is just hard to follow for me.
Greg Bear.
Yeah, I think he actually died recently, but he's a hard sci-fi writer, so his stuff is like the way it's written is just tough for me. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, I just looked up.
Cryptum,
I remember this too.
yeah, it's like Cryptum, Silentium, and something. And Cryptum is okay, and the other two, I was just like, I don't even know what's happening. Like I just reread the
Well, if
pages
you
over and
want
over.
to do a quick read about good old Artas Vadum. Wait, is he Vadam or Vadum? Which one's which?
I'm not sure.
Anyways, that was Joseph Staten that wrote that little short book.
Oh,
It is just called his ship name, Shadow of Intent.
oh yeah, yeah. I have heard of that one. I just haven't
Oh, you
read it.
read that?
No, no, I've heard
Oh,
of it.
okay, gotcha.
And then you have
I
I
couldn't remember
forgot.
the
Now that you
name. I
said
just
that,
looked it back up in my Kindle.
I think Joseph Staten wrote Cold Protocol actually, which is
Did he? Let me
the
s
keys one I think. But then there's also the ones that are like New Blood and Bad Blood, and those are about the ODST guys, like Buck and all them. Buck,
Okay.
Mickey, I think, Romeo and Dutch and all them.
Okay, so yeah, he did Contact Harvest, Shadow of Intent, and Cult Protocol, and I can say that the writing is pretty similar between, Shadow of Intent and Contact Harvest,
Hmm.
but obviously from an alien perspective and Johnson, so that you can tell that, but,
Yeah.
um, I need to read Cult Protocol because like, I know what it is, and I know, like, why it became a thing, but I know I didn't read that book. I think that and First Strike are the only 2, like, Bungie era books I didn't read as a kid.
Yeah. They're both solid. And New Blood and Bad Blood that cover the ODST stuff. I think people like New Blood. Bad Blood, I don't know what the opinion is.
I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my list. You said New Blood is that the first
That's the first
chronological
one.
one?
That's the first one, yeah. And then Bad
Okay,
Blood, I think, is the sequel. I would definitely double check that because I'm just going on memory.
right.
But
I'd like to read a I'd like to read an ODST book. That'd be pretty badass. I always liked the ODSTs.
well, in one of them, I think it's Bad Blood, they're becoming fours. So that leads into Halo 5.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, it doesn't lead into it, but it's in that era or whatever.
The Spartan Fours, like Buck getting to be
Yeah.
one and stuff like that. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like they get their augmentations, they start their training. You get to see more of Palmer.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I got me a nice little list of things. First thing on the list is definitely Attack on Titan, though. I would like to finish that.
Yeah, but for the books, New Blood actually has one of my favorite lines in it about Spartan 2s. And this is the kind of thing the show just really pissed away. It's Buck. That's Nathan Fillion, right? Buck. Yeah. Buck is doing something and Jai shows up, he's Spartan 2 from the gray team. And he talks about how big he is and Jai is trying to recruit him, I think to be a Spartan 4 or maybe just to work for Oni. I can't remember what it is at the time. And Buck is thinking to himself, and he's like, He's like, you can tell by his presence that he's essentially a walking god. Like he's in the room because he chooses to be, and you're alive because he allows you to be, or something like that. And it's like,
And this was about the Spartan 2?
yeah. And like
Oh, shit.
that's like the presence of the Spartan twos that you get in the books. And the show
Oh, yeah.
never capitalizes on that at all.
No. Well, just the training simulation after they're first augmented, whenever Halsey comes to watch them do their thing, and Mendez is like she's like, "Where are they?" And Mendez is like, "They're here." Uh, and then they go and they capture the flag, and then she's like, "Please tell me you got that all on camera." And he's like, "Of course." And he tries to pull it up, and he's like, "Oh, they found the cameras again, sons of
Yeah.
bitches!" Like they took them out. And I'm like, dude, they're like basically like stealth gods with their
Yeah.
augmentations and shit like that, and they don't portray that at all in the show. It's so embarrassing.
Well, that's something the show completely whiffed on too, is the Spartans are supposed to be the best of mankind in every capacity, not just giant brutes. Like
Yeah,
even
it's
the
kinda
Fall
like
of Reach
the Captain
book.
America effect. You're augmented in, like, all ways, even, like, spiritually, mentally, all that stuff,
Well,
you
yeah, I
know?
mean they're all supposed to be geniuses. Like even in the book, when John is doing the thing in the weight room where he's like, is the gravity off because these weights are way too light after his
Yeah,
augmentations? He like times it to fall, and he does like the calculus quickly in his head for
yeah,
like accounting for gravity and all that. And
and he
like,
doesn't even realize that he just did that, you know? It just kinda became second nature.
yeah, because I mean, they're supposed to be geniuses who got, obviously put through a brutal program to maximize it. And the show would have you think they're just big oafs.
Yeah, because they have a blind Spartan, and they don't even use him for logistics, and I'm like, "You're telling me you can't use that brain? Because I guarantee you can use that brain."
God, the fact that there's even a blind Spartan is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like, you're telling me we can
They
make
coulda
people
gone
a foot taller and have more muscle and faster reflexes, and we can't
but you
swap out a
can't give
pair
him
of
robot
eyeballs.
eyes.
Like, we can probably do that fucking now.
Yeah, it's It's I don't know, I feel like they didn't wanna commit to, like, a physical injury because, like, in the books, the injuries were pretty terrible,
Oh yeah.
um, but then they, like if they give him, like, a blind guy, he still looks overall like kind of a normal dude, and he can have a boyfriend or a husband, um, but, like, if you make them all fucked up, then, like, having a relationship, it's like I guess it's a little bit harder to believe that they could be with somebody if they can't, move appropriately. I don't know. I think maybe they thought about that, like, the relationship was more important than, like, the realism of his injury from the augmentations.
Oh, he was just a walking checkbox.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely,
they
which is
did
funny
jack
because
shit.
they, like, killed all of them in, like, episode 4,
Yeah.
which is strange.
Yeah, they introduced him, he did nothing. They had one dinner together, and then he died.
And
I saw
he
people
got
on
a
the
grenade
subreddit.
launcher.
There's a Halo TV subreddit where all they do is just fucking fillet this show, and they were all talking about how sad they were when Louise died, and I was like,
Oh
"Fuck
god.
you!" Like, I had people comment on my
Dude, do these people,
video.
like, know what good content is? Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, even aside from that, like, what did you like about him? Tell me.
They
He
couldn't.
exists.
It's all,
That's his personality. Is he's there?
for a damn fact if this show didn't have the name Halo slapped on it, none of these people would give a shit. It's just because of what it's called.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's so annoying because like they wasted so much time with bullshit. You could have made him, you know, have a personality and make the audience care about him. You didn't.
Yeah. Well, same with Riz, like, she was supposed to have this little arc that we're all supposed to, like, empathize with, and it's an arc that's been done, like, 100 times in all sorts of different, like, war-esque type movies, but with hers, I was just like, "God, I can't wait for her to die, she just won't shut up," like, they did it so badly.
Well, even the way that she got hurt was just absurd.
Oh, yeah, how she was, like she ends the season, like, dying on the floor, but then, like, months later, she's still doing missions, but she's too injured to train or something.
Well, also she went back for Vanek's dead body, and that's how she got hurt.
Oh, that part.
Like,
Yeah.
none of her character makes any sense. And I had somebody comment on my
Well,
video. They were like, I really liked your whole video, except for the part where you said that the part where you said that no one cared about Vanek dying. And I was like, why would you care? He was a robot last season. And this
yeah,
season,
like,
he's
legit.
nothing. He likes llamas or alpaca.
They they gave him a scene to talk about how much he likes birds so that you'd feel bad when he dies, like, 5 minutes later.
Yeah, then they have a bird fly across the screen where all sorts of things it's fucking deep.
Oh my god, I forgot about the bird flying over the screen. It's like, "Hey, buddy, you're not looking too hot.
Yeah.
I can fly. I'm doing okay."
Yeah, exactly. Give me a fucking break. That's what really frustrates me too, is we wasted I would love to know how much screen time there was spent on fucking Quan and Soren
Oh,
and even
Jesus.
Perez to some degree. Like
Oh, man.
all of that time
Dude,
could have been
Perez was like
used to
she
make
went from, like, an okay character to me, like and then in episode 4, like, I was like, "Fuck that bitch." Like, when she decided when I think she said something about how, like, they don't train you for your family dying like they do for Marines I don't know, it just the way she said it, I was like, "You bitch." Like, your whole squad died, basically, and I'm pretty sure one of them saved you before he got stabbed in the back, and you don't give a shit.
you know what
You
makes that
awful
line
person.
worse is that it never comes up again.
No, it doesn't. Like, it's like John wasn't even listening to her. He's like, "Oh, when's this dumb bitch gonna stop talking?"
Yeah.
It's
Like she brings up all that shit, has PTSD, and then just fucking Spartan 3.
next episode, she's a
Yeah.
Spartan 3.
That it's
Oh, I
wild,
was
man.
pissed. I had to pause the TV. I was legit pissed when she said that. I'm like, "Oh, dude, fuck you, show. You don't know what you just did."
Oh man, I feel bad. She's another one. I feel like her actress was actually fine, but her character was like a different human
Oh,
every episode. It was crazy.
dude, like yeah, she was definitely one of the she was one of the better actors, I feel like. Like, she did a good job with what they gave her. Um, so, like, I wouldn't say she's on the same, like, bar as Ackerson, but geez, she made
Yeah.
no sense at all.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
she
what
did in,
that
like, the
was.
first episode or 2. Like, I was like, "Oh, a scared shitless comms marine who's, like, not ready for this type of warfare at all. Like, this could be interesting." Like, watching her overcome that and potentially, like, doing something besides becoming a Spartan 3 in a week. But no, they fuck all that up. Like, I hate that episode 4 is, like, the most highly praised episode because,
I know.
like, from beginning to end, like, that is the worst episode to me. I think it has the most problems.
You know what's
Um,
funny
and
is
it also, like, shifts the show in a totally different direction from where we thought it was going.
yeah, it's a complete redirect of the entire plot.
Yeah,
And you
it
know what's crazy is
you
a more
advertised Fall
confident
of
show.
Reach.
Sorry, what?
What's that?
I was gonna say a more confident show would have had Perez not show up again after episode 4, and then would have introduced a new character in episode 5 to be the Spartan 3, and then made you care about them. But the show didn't have the balls for that, so they had her do both.
Yeah, yeah, she really was filling the role for, like, 2 or 3 different characters, I feel like. I
Yeah,
feel like you could even say 3, almost. Like, we're, like, right there. Because there's that really weird scene when, they land on the ship in episode 8, like, the finale. So she's the best Spartan 3, she's, like, hyper focused. When one of the girls was crying, she, like, basically got her to lock it down. But when they land on the ship, she's having, like, a panic attack, but they
yeah.
didn't build up the PTSD at all. Like, they went from her being PTSD struck to fine to PTSD again on the ship, and then Kai's like, "Remember your training." And I'm like, "Well, she didn't do any." Um, yeah, like, she flip-flops on a dime. Like, that scene was really weird to me. I'm like, "Why is she freaking out right now?" I thought she was stoic badass now.
Yeah, that oh man, that's the type of thing that I feel like that's where you can tell that they just brought random people in to write shit.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, "Oh, she has PTSD. Okay, I'll put a scene in there like that." And it's like, "Oh, no, we kind of forgot about that a couple episodes ago." Oh,
Yeah,
well.
she was actually already over it, but go ahead and bring it back.
Yeah. You can bring it back, it's the finale. People remember it. They're I really do think it comes down to they think, like and this is probably with, like, Disney and, like, Marvel, Star Wars type stuff, but they really do just think a lot of their audience is just really, really dumb, so they can probably just get away with the iconography like that.
I don't even know if it's
It's
that or if they're just so shit at their job that they just think it's a good show, and like
well, I believe that the writers think that they did something good. Like, you hear the way they talk about it, they're all very proud of it, but, like, you and I, we have, like, totally different careers going on. We, like, watch this, and we could talk at length about how wrong everything is. There has to be somebody over there that can watch this show and go, "This is fucking awful." You know what I mean? But, like, it's already made, so just put it out there. I don't know.
I think
I
there's
just
so
don't
much
really understand how
apathy
something. Yeah,
that they don't even fucking notice.
yeah. I just if you're the money man at a company, especially a company that's dying, and you're like, "Oh, we have a big video game IP that could potentially make us a lot of money." You think you'd give, like, at least half a shit, you know? I don't know.
I mean, you
It's
would
weird.
think, or they're just like the numbers look fine and we'll take what we can get. We cut the budget in
Well,
half, so who cares?
I guess when, like, a company goes under, you can get a big tax write-off, so maybe that's kinda what they're banking on. So, like, they'll get bought out, and then they'll also get that secondary check from the government.
I have no
So,
clue how that works.
I don't know if it works for everything, but I know if you're like a l I know it works for, like, local businesses, but I don't know if it works for a big company like Paramount, but no idea.
Mm. Yeah, that's ugh. That whole thing sounds like a mess because they were trying to do a 30-day private window with Skydance, and then that led into
Hmm.
like not working out. So now it's Apollo and Sony. And apparently some of this $26 billion buyout is for their debt that they had to pay off or something. I don't really understand all of it.
Yeah, which I don't know, because, like, they don't make all terrible movies, like, some of their movies come out are good, but then they make a show like this, and it's like, I kinda want you to fail. You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah.
bad.
I would think if you're Paramount, like most of their revenue has to be coming from like SVU or whatever, and then like Big Bang Theory and shit that's been on
Oh,
for
shit, do they make are they Law& and Order? Is that their thing?
I thought they were.
Oh, shit. I'll have to tell my wife that she still watches that show. I'll have to let her know that they're, going out of business, but
Ah, they'll just get bought
well,
by
they would
Sony or
probably
whoever. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they'll continue it. I mean, Olivia Benson, man, she's been going at it for, like, 20 some years at this point.
Well, also, I mean, worst case, they'll just sell the shit to like Netflix for a year for $50 million or $100 million.
Yeah, I mean, the the market got so oversaturated with streaming services that it's only a matter of time for, like, they start going up like this, but I don't see, like I don't see, like, a whole company, like, just going and, like, merging with another company. I feel like you said, it'll go for, like, a year, but, like, IPs from that company will start getting bought out, and it kinda just dissipates into nothing is,
Well,
like, the more likely thing is.
if Apollo and Sony buy it and then they just own all the rights to these shows, my guess is that they'll cancel all of them except for the ones
Yeah,
that are the cash cows.
yeah, like well, I guess they Law& and Order, like, they have a pretty loyal fan base at this point, so they probably would keep stuff like that going, but I don't see them keeping
Well,
any of
yeah, and
these
it doesn't
adaptation
cost them
type
anything
things
to make
going.
it. Like they're not
No, it doesn't.
like they don't need new episodes. They have 20 seasons of shit or however long it's been on.
Yeah, and
Like Big
it's
Bang Theory is
kinda
done,
like
so they
rinse,
can
repeat.
just, they can just sell it to whoever to put in their service. They don't care.
No, they don't
Halo-
give a shit.
The Halo show, you're looking at another 50, $60 million just to make
Yeah,
it.
and yeah, and they're in season 3 now, like, we're getting into the point where, like, they should be up in the ante and, like, getting more Covenant perspective and stuff like that, but their budget keeps shrinking because they're doing such a bad job. So,
Yeah.
like, any money man would look at that and be like, "Nah, you guys are done." if we do this again, we'll try again in a few years when the taste gets washed out.
I think either that or they could be like, look, we'll sell, the rights to Warner Brothers to do a movie. Like they can
Yeah,
pay
that would
for
be
it and we'll split the
sick.
profits and it costs them nothing or however it works. I don't fucking know. But
Yeah, yeah. But I'm following you.
yeah, or they can be like,
Yeah,
look,
that would be
we'll
great.
make $100 million movie and see if we can hit the jackpot.
Oh, man. Like, if they just make a faithful adaptation, it's a cash cow. It is a cash cow. You make a faithful adaptation of the thing, you're going to make money. Almost everybody I talk to that's, like, has a vague reference to the games or, like, remembers playing as a kid, they're like, "Oh, I'd love to see a movie about that." Like, you talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to put 150 million bucks into it, they can do a book per movie and just have
Oh, yeah.
a decade of movies if they want.
And then imagine the really awesome, like, spin-off TV shows you could get from it too, if, like,
Yeah. And that doesn't
Sony's
even get into merchandise and all that shit too.
'cause I'd love, like, a Band of Brothers style ODST situation. Like, that'd be fucking sweet.
I really need to watch that.
Oh, it's good. It's
Every
really
every
good.
person keeps
I got
recommending it to me. I just haven't had time.
no, it's a commitment because it's one of those you don't really wanna, like, miss anything, but yeah, it's a good one. It's a goodie.
All right, you want to start wrapping up here?
Um, sorry, I was looking at something. Yeah, um, yeah, I probably need to go to bed. What time? It's almost 11. Yeah, I gotta wake up early, so I am I am down for that. Here, let me do a little, "Hey, filthy casual, do you wanna sell yourself to the people that watch my videos?"
Yeah, I mean, I talk about TV shows, movies, anime, books sometimes. Pretty much the same tone as the conversation we just had here. I mostly do short-ish commentary, like between 5 minutes and half an hour, depending on how spoiler I want to be. Every once in a while, I'll do a long video. I have a long Halo video. I've done long ones for Ahsoka and Kenobi, the steaming piles of dog shit they were. So yeah,
Absolutely.
you can come check my stuff out if you want. If you enjoyed this conversation, my channel, I think, sounds pretty much the same. I don't think I really fluctuate too much personality wise or presentation wise. So
I would say that I did notice, an improvement in your, sound quality on your last video when you were talking about the little problem that you were having with, like, the transfer of files.
yeah, I was doing an extra conversion completely fucking unnecessarily. I was so mad at myself.
Which and you were saying something, I'm like, "I don't hear it, man, I don't hear it." So you must have a better ear because when you put the new video on, I was listening, and I'm like, "Oh, it does sound just slightly cleaner." Like, there definitely is, like, a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not nearly savvy enough for this.
No, me neither. We just got shit to say. We're just trying to figure it out as we go.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and also for the most part, I stay out of politics on my channel. I will
right.
at
Yeah,
least,
I try to avoid it too.
yeah, I acknowledge if I think political shit is slipping into the show or movie, but by and large, I try to avoid it. So
Right. Try to give some escapist fun, but
ideally, yeah.
sometimes you gotta talk about it, like, when it's just smacking you in the face. Like, mm, I don't know, if your show's covering the differences between socialism and communism, you're probably gonna have to talk about them. So
But yeah, I mean that's what happened to me with my Civil War video.
right,
I still get comments every
right.
day calling me a retarded right winger.
It's like, you don't even know what I am, I'm just analyzing the movie.
Yeah, I just call the movie how I see it. I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is. And that was a
yeah.
dog shit movie anyway. So
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna go finish that video. I lost the urge to watch it, so I'm just gonna go watch the rest of your take on it.
of Civil War.
Yeah, I
It's pretty
kinda
much
just
just me listing off how Alex Garland said it was politically neutral, and that was how they advertised it, and it's just not.
right.
I mean, it's so funny too. I've gotten comments. I don't want to like drag this out, but I've gotten so many comments being like,
Oh,
"Oh,
you're good.
really? My so and so said it was actually right wing," and I respond to them because I respond to as many comments as I can. And I say, "Oh, what about it was right wing?" Never fucking hear back. Like I've heard that
Yeah,
claim probably a dozen times now. Not a single person has said why. So
well, it's just like I don't know, the comments that, like, wanna argue with you, like, they never respond. Like, they'll a lot of times people will be like, "Halo show's not that bad," and then they'll say a bunch of random stuff, and I'm like, "You didn't say anything good about the show in your, like, ramblings." Like,
I had
if you
one
wanna say it's
guy,
not that
he left like maybe 10 comments on my episode 8 video, and all of them were like a page long. I stopped reading them after the first one. And all it was him kind of headcanoning why it wasn't fucking stupid.
I'm gonna have to go look at that because there's a really good possibility since our channels aren't that dissimilar, uh, that it might be the same guy that did that to me. It was like he was commenting as he was listening to the video, and he
I
just
don't
kept
know.
going.
I think it was episode 8, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm not reading any more of this guy's fucking comments. I responded to one of them, and then he just responded with like another page long essay about, well, could have been blah 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 and all this shit. And I was like, no, like fuck that.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
on
it
the
can't be
screen. It's not in the dialogue. I'm not giving them credit for shit. Like,
yeah, like, I can give credit to Arcane if somebody points out, like, a plot hole, be like, "Well, if I can't think of a good counter," I'll be like, "Okay, well, listen, that's, like, 1 out of how many?" But if
well,
it's like
yeah.
the
And then
Halo
there's
show when they're just, like,
also
bleeding everywhere.
exactly, and there's also like degrees of what I'm talking about. Like Parangosky's plan in the show,
Oh,
someone's gonna
dude,
have to
one
do
of
a
the
lot of
dumbest
fucking.
things I've ever seen.
Someone's gonna have to do a lot of work to explain to me how that makes sense. And the answer is it's never gonna because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's not. Because what the only way to make it make sense is to make shit up, and that's the same problem they had with, like, the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
Uh, you can't defend something that you have to just constantly make shit up for. If it's not in the show, it doesn't matter.
yeah. Like you can't write the show that you want to exist and then defend the show that actually does exist.
Yeah, from your head canon. I don't live in your head.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, do you want to give your little plug to my group if they even
oh,
get this far?
yeah,
This is like a fucking 2.5 hour conversation. So
yeah, this went longer than I thought it would, but it was a good one. I'm probably titled it something like talking about a bunch of random stuff with filthy casual, but
yeah, I was
mostly Halo.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like probably I was like discussing Halo, Attack on Titan, and then other stuff.
Right, right. That's kinda what I'll probably call it. But yeah, Sergeant Mandibles here. Actually got the name, which you might find this funny. I watched the, EFAP covering of the Halo TV show, and he
Oh
kept
yeah.
calling the Arbiter Mr. Mandibles,
Oh,
and I'm like
Fringy, yeah.
yeah, Fringy kept calling it Mr. Mandibles, and I'm like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome," but I was like, "Well, I was in the military, so I'll just tie it to that," so I went Sergeant Mandibles, so it has its own unique spin. Uh, so I'll have to shout out to Fringy for that name suggestion he didn't know he gave me.
That's funny.
Um,
I'll be honest.
but
I'm salty as fuck. I was trying to do an RB and the Chief clip insert in my video, and I couldn't find a spot for one.
oh, no.
I
I've
wanted to
only
do
put in
one
1,
about
and
the
it was
Arbiter. I just couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't find like a little soundbite that I wanted.
damn. That's an excuse for you to go back through the whole show again, just listen to it while you're working.
I know it's a classic.
Yeah, it's great, I love it. I actually messaged, John, Graham, just to say, "Hey, man, your show's awesome," and he responded to me on Twitter, so that was kinda cool.
Yeah, he's pretty
Um
nice. I've emailed him before too. He usually answers.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He seems like super down to earth. But, yeah, anyways, with the, stuff I'm working on, I have a couple, Halo related videos that I'm working on. I have a couple non-Halo related videos, but my channel's kind of morphing into mostly focused on Halo for the time being. Um, and I broke down the whole, just like Filthy Casual here, I broke down the whole season 2 of Halo. He got into it a little before me though, because he got season 1 as well. I'm not going back to touch that, so what you see is what you get with mine. We're not backtracking. And I think I'm just gonna leave it at that because we have 27 seconds and I am going to head to bed.
All right. Well, yeah, and you know, for people who listen to me, he's only made like 15 videos and we have almost the same amount of subscribers, so that's a good sign for him.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Took me like 150 videos to get to 700 or whatever I'm at. All right, that was my talk with Sgt Mandibles. Go check out his channel. I'm trying to figure out live streaming. I did a little test stream last weekend, and apparently my laptop can't handle OBS and streaming a game at the same time. So I'll try to get that figured out. Maybe I can start doing some live streams, or maybe him and I will do some live streams. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. Like and subscribe and all that. Thanks. See ya.